Take a look at the people around you. What do you see? Now, I'm sure you see some incredibly intelligent people, some incredibly good-looking people, right? You're all thinking that. Maybe you see some friends. Maybe you see family. Maybe you see coworkers. Maybe you see people that look like you, people that don't look like you, people that you don't even know. What the data tells us is as you look around, you're also seeing people that are overwhelmed, tired, stressed, and maybe even burnout. You see, throughout the week, I work with a company, and we help organizations and leaders create healthy, growth-oriented cultures. And we help them develop employee experiences that all the way from when an employee is recruited and hired, all the way through performance management and recognition, all the way through when they offboard one day, either because they retire or because they leave. We help them create great employee experiences, so it's a great experience for the employee. This past year, the biggest challenge that companies have dealt with is resignations. People leaving, attrition, retention. Many of you maybe have heard that this past year was called Great Resignation. Organizations are struggling to keep their people. It's an employee's market. And when you start to dig below the surface, what's causing that? Why are so many people leaving? What you start to find is that there's a lot of people after 2.5, almost 3 years of the pandemic, they're just done, right? They're tired of working for unhealthy cultures. They're tired of working for managers and leaders that don't care about them. They themselves are stressed and overwhelmed, and they're done. And so they don't have to stay in a culture, they don't have to stay in an organization or working for a manager that's not watching out for them. And what the data says is that in this past year alone, 89% of people at some point experienced work-related burnout. 89%. I mean, that means for those of you that work, 9 out of 10 of you out of this past year were burnt out at some point. 70% of employees will leave their company and go work for another company, not for more pay, not for a different job, but simply if they think that organization actually cares about burnout and cares about the mental health of their employees. And if they're trying to address that. 70% of people will leave and go for another job just for that fact alone. It's become normal in our culture, burnout and stress and being overwhelmed. Ann Peterson, she's an author and a journalist. She wrote this in one of her books. She said that burnout isn't a place you visit and come back from anymore. She was critiquing our current culture. Burnout has become our permanent residence. 27% of people say that burnout isn't just something they deal with at work. It's something they deal with in all areas of their life. That means these feelings of being overwhelmed and stressed out impact their marriages. It impacts their parenting. It impacts their finances. It impacts their personal health. It impacts everything. That's become normal for a lot of people. And so you think about it, it's like, what do people need? You know, you ask someone, or you ask leaders or executives, like, what do people need? And most often, the top answer people usually give is they need more time off, right? They need to take vacations, something like this picture, right? I don't know about you. I'll try it out at least, right? Let's test it out. Let's see if it works. And see, the problem is 47% of people say that even when they go on vacation, even when they get away, it doesn't help with the sense of being overwhelmed and stressed and burnt out. Because what happens? You go on vacation, you probably keep working some, right? You carry everything with you, all those emotions, all those feelings go with you, the stress goes with you, and then when you come back, what's waiting for you? Even more work, right? It's been waiting there, it's built up. And so this doesn't help you escape. This doesn't help you get away. Now, all these statistics I've shared with you are for across industries, just in the workforce as a whole. If you work in education, if you work in healthcare, it's even more challenging. If you know someone that works in education or healthcare, tell them thank you. I mean, it's been a tough 2.5 years. It's been really, really hard. And a lot of them are struggling. Let them know how much you appreciate what they do. Let them know how much of an impact they're making. Buy them lunch, buy them coffee, right? Just celebrate them. They need it. They deserve it. One of the guys I work with, the way he talks about this is he has he's in sales and he has this prospecting email, and the subject of it is just cut the BS. And then you get into the subject of the email, because a lot of people open that up, they're like, that's unusual. And he's talking about cutting burnout and stress. We want to cut the BS, right? And see, we can't wait around for our companies to do it for us. Only a third of companies have a proactive strategy or a way that they're trying to actively address these issues in their. That means the majority of you work for organizations and companies that either have no idea what to do, they're not sure what to do, they just don't care. And so we can't wait on our leaders and our companies to cut the BS for us. We've got to do that ourselves. And so that's what we're going to have a conversation about today.